I wasn't expecting any questions out of nowhere as I walked through the open-air spaceport. I didn't expect any conversation at all, except maybe from Paint, who was walking with me, though she was busy eating dried food from a stall we'd passed earlier. It was a long strip of some unidentifiable to me meat, and it was getting smears of black seasoning all over her orange scales. She was having a great time. She was welcome to it. Then someone asked, "Hey, do you eat salt?" And I had new things to think about. I paused. In other food, not by itself. Why? The speaker was one of those people made of green-white crystals, and he was leaning earnestly over a low wall. His companion stepped up beside him, a plant person whose face looked like a rose full of eyeballs and teeth. "What about dirt?" he asked me. "No, not on purpose," I said. "I'd rather grow food in it. Why?" They both made disappointed gestures and turned away, scanning the other passerbys instead of answering my question. Paint stood on tiptoes to look over the wall. "Ow," she said. "That's unfortunate." I stepped up beside her and saw a mess on the ground. 2 boxes had burst open and spilled their contents into a mingled pile of white and brown. It was easy to guess what those were. The crystalline guy's voice echoed a little through his breathing mask. "It is unfortunate. Also his fault." He pointed a sharp finger at the plant person. "You lie like a rug," the plant guy declared. "You're the one who can only see in one direction at once." "Yeah, so you should have seen me coming. Totally your fault." "It is your fault, and I am not going to buy you lunch now." The crystalline guy waved an arm, joints creaking quietly. "Somebody in this spaceport is bound to have a use for dirty salt." "Salted dirt," corrected the plant guy. He looked at me with all of his eyes. "Sure you don't want any?" "It's not something I can use, sorry," I told him, mentally running over the options. The only time I've heard of humans eating dirt is in cases of starvation or rare nutrient deficiencies, and we do like salt. There was a whole aisle of salty snacks at the grocery store back home, but clean salt. And putting a bunch of salt in soil will just ruin the soil for any plants. "Really?" Paint asked, her snap forgotten. "All plants? I thought your planet had weeds that grow anywhere." "Anywhere except salted dirt. That's a method of extreme weed prevention and sabotage." The plant guy nudged his friend with a root-like elbow. "See? You sabotage my dirt." "As if I haven't just lost some perfectly good salt," he retorted. "I can't even wash it off. I just get salty water full of mud, and that sounds even less useful." Paint looked up at me again. "I could have sworn there were earth plants that grew in salty water." Right then, I got a whiff of seafood from a nearby stall, and had a brainstorm. "Oh, seawater." All 3 of them looked at me while I explained. Ocean plants grow in salt water, and probably the plants on the shore are used to a high level of salt too. I didn't think of that. Does anyone in this market grow strong-arm food? "Oh, good idea," said the plant guy, immediately turning to scan the stalls for tentacles. "I saw a place back that way," the crystalline guy exclaimed, pointing. "In the local section too, so they're not just shipping it in from elsewhere. Come on." He dashed over to the boxes and began scooping salt into one. "Thanks for the idea," said the plant guy with a wave of a leafy hand. He joined his friend and immediately made it a competition to see who finished first. I stepped back from the wall, which I now realized had subtle plant patterns carved into it. Fitting. "I'm glad we could help." "Yes," Paint agreed. She held up her jerky to take a bite, then asked me, "Is there really an entire aisle full of salted food in a human store?" "Sure is," I said, resuming the walk towards the rest of the food stalls. "Delicious stuff, too. I wonder if we can find some here, without dirt on it." Paint took another bite, getting seasoning all over her face. "Yes, let's leave that on the ground where it belongs."